Reading time is actually very important, but people don't really sort of plan for it or prepare for it. So the first thing you need to remember is there's two books in the exam. There's a question booklet over here in which it has the actual questions, but you don't write your answers in that. You write your answers in the answer booklet. Anything you write in the question booklet won't be assessed. So during reading time, remember, you can't mark the paper in any way. You can't write your name on it, you can't do an asterisk, you can't underline anything. So what can you do for those 15 minutes? Well, I think the first thing you want to make sure you do is read the entire paper, but not just one book. Don't just read the questions. So for example, you might get a question that says, they forgot to record a sale, what's the impact on the income statement? And you start in your head crunching the numbers. Well, what you want to do is go and look at the answer booklet and see, maybe that's actually a theory question. Maybe they want you to write something. So I think if you go and make sure as you're reading each question that you look at the answer booklet and see how do they want me to answer this question, that's going to be of enormous benefit. Remember, the questions can be answered in any order. You don't have to, once upon a time it helped to do the exam chronologically, but since 2012 you can do it in any order you want. And every question is independent of the other. So if you start with question 6 or question 8, it's not going to affect anything. In fact, you might want to do that if you think that's going to be a big question you'll struggle with. Maybe start with that. You can do it in whatever order you want. Maybe use your reading time if you're feeling a bit nervous and jittery to pick off, one of the easier questions and go, I'm going to find the easiest question and start with that one and get a bit of confidence up at the start. Using reading time, I think the important thing is to find some marking points. What do we mean by that? I reckon there's 100 marks, so go and identify where the 25th mark is, and remember that should take you half an hour. Then go and find where and so for example that could be question 2A. Depending on what time the exam is, let's say the exam started at 12, the actual writing time, that must mean you can write this down as soon as writing time starts. I need to be up to that by 12:30. You go and identify the 50th mark. You need to be up to there by the 60th minute. So e.g. you go and cross off question 5 and write, I need to be here by 1. Go and find the 75th mark, which should be done by the 90th minute. For example, question 8A, and write down must finish by 1:30. Oops. And then obviously the 100th mark, it'll just be a matter of finishing before the time runs out at the end. But I think that's a really good strategy. Remember, you can't mark the paper during reading time, but you can identify where these parts of the paper are. So go and find the 25th, the 50th, and the 75th mark.